Everybody, it's Becky Pearson with Pivot Point of View. I am joined with my co-host Destri Millsap, and we have the great honor of talking to CJ Garland today of Extreme Cowgirl Challenge. Welcome, CJ, to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So, CJ, tell us a little bit about the Extreme Cowgirl Challenge. And it's an event that is its third year, in its third year. And yeah, let's find out more about it.
Sure, of course. Yes, like you said, it is going to be 2025 will be the third year. It is Mother's Day weekend, 3 days, May 9th through the 11th. And basically, it is an opportunity to give ladies that normally compete in reined cow horse and versatility stock horse, ranch horse competitions the chance to play on a team for the first time. Jason and I came up with the idea. We were at Art of the Cowgirl in 2020. And, you're watching the world's greatest horsewoman, you're watching the ranch rodeo. Um, I just wanted to figure out a way to play on a team with my friends. So it took, with COVID and everything, the world's kind of crazy. It took us a couple years to get it put together, figure out a methodology that actually worked, write a rule book, figure out what events, launch it. It was incredibly well received. The teams the first year filled, I in like 18 hours. It was
Wow.
incredibly overwhelming. I mean, I didn't even know the world was more than ready. We'll just put it that way. So now we're rounding the corner to our third event, and it's set up to be bigger and better than the first two. We're super excited, and I'm excited to be talking to you about it.
Awesome. So you have teams of how many women?
It is teams of five, and
Okay.
they compete. The preliminary event this year, we're making a few tweaks. I think um, we've got it dialed in now. We're making a few tweaks from the first couple of years. Our ultimate hope is that we've got it set this year, where we can actually replicate it, and if other people want us to come and produce events for them, we can replicate this elsewhere in the nation. But so we think the third year, it takes a little while to work the bugs out. So the preliminary events this year, there's four individual preliminary events, which are reining, ranch riding, extreme trail course, which Jason puts an extremely hard trail course together out on our ranch, and then cutting. And then there will be a preliminary team event. And then the top five teams come back for a team finals, which is where they have to work together on cattle.
Mm.
So it's five lady teams, and those are the events.
So when you say work together on cattle, is that like a sorting kind of a situation?
It changes every year. Jason invents the finals. The
Wow.
first year it was kind of an alleyway sorting, so we mimicked our alleyway, um, and it was sorting-esque. Last year it was an obstacle course.
Mm.
So it'll change. That's going to change every year, and it's going to be difficult because Jason invents it, and as a 35-year horse trainer, and a fourth generation rancher, he definitely doesn't make it easy on the girls. Like you need to be handy. If you've made it to the finals and you've made it through all the preliminary events and your team has, it's difficult. So
Mm. This sounds awesome. I cannot imagine lots of moving parts too. I mean, with that
so
many
many.
events. Um, and so how do you sell tickets to this? Do you like if so I'm not a person that does Reined Cow Horse or anything like that, but I very much admire the people that do it. And honestly, I think if I wouldn't have gotten involved in barrel racing, I either would have been a cutter or Reined Cow Horse. I mean, I think is just an amazing to watch the skill level that these men and women do that they have to do the event. So so if I wanted to come and watch, is there a fee, a spectator fee, or
There is not. So it is completely open to the public. We invite whomever. It's Leota is a very small town in southwest Kansas. Our ranch is a couple miles west of town, and it is absolutely open to the public. And bring a lawn chair, and we have vendors, and we have a food truck, and other activities going on. The last couple of years we've had fundraisers. I don't think I'll do that this year. It's just, too many things. It gets overwhelming. Um, but we have a lot of, there's just tons of people around, cheering and happy to answer questions. Um, so anyway, no, it's open to the public. We don't sell tickets or anything like that. So yeah, it's it's a way for us to support the Western lifestyle, support our rural community, and share the sports that we love, that we're passionate about, with you know a lot of people in our local area don't really, despite the fact that Jason's and I have been doing this for a really long time, we're introducing it to people in our local area too. But it also does have a live feed, so people can actually watch from home too.
CJ, these events, they're like poetry in motion to watch. And,
Amen, brother. Yes, they are.
the horsepower and the support that goes along with these events, the Reined Cow Horse community, the reining community. If you've ever been to either one of those, the support and everybody cheering for each other just is so exciting to watch. And what a cool event to get to showcase all of these horses' talents. And I think it's so cool that you do stuff out on the ranch. I mean,
Oh
that's
yes.
different than anywhere else. And that brings its own element to horses being able to do things out in the open and on
Oh,
ground and everything else. I mean, what a cool way to showcase the versatility of your horse, and where these horses came from, and the history of how they got to be what they are now.
thank you for bringing that up. Absolutely. The location on the ranch that we chose to do the extreme trail course is it kind of, I mean, it's the prettiest, our we're in southwest Kansas, so the ranch is kind of flat. You cannot get lost moving cattle out there. I do not know north, south, east, west. So like the first time I moved cattle with Jason, I didn't tell him I didn't know north, south, east, west, because I didn't want to look like a jackass moving cows out there. um but we can see our indoor arena is bright red with the white roof, right? So he's like, north, south, east, west corner, blip, 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 blip. You go that way, I go this way, bring cows. And I'm like, well, aren't we, so we picked the prettiest spot on the ranch to have the trail course, which the 2024 website is still up. People listening to the podcast, if you're interested in learning more about the event, you can. I don't have the 2025 website launched yet, but the live feed and all the professional photography from 24 is live on our website. Still, the 2024 website is live, and the photographers did just a phenomenal job of representing. The trail course photos are just phenomenal. But anyway, you can get like the gist of how difficult the trail course was, and how pretty it was. Like luckily we got rain, so the grass is green. And but Jason, I mean, he did not take it easy on us at all. Like, you lope down a steep hill and you're going up and around these scary rocks, and you're doing, I mean, you're dragging a calf rope and dummy, and I mean, there's a TP, and you know what I mean? Like, it's hard, and it's legit, and it's a mile and a half from the arenas. So like, you're going on a full on long trot to get out there. So your horse,
That,
at least your horse is, you know, warmed up by the time you get out there. So
yeah, if they aren't broke when you left, they're broke when you get there finally to the
amen, right?
yeah,
I
I'll
mean, bring your best, nicest horse. If you're going to compete, this is not a green horse deal.
yeah. Well, and I imagine with the level of cowgirls and everything else there, you better come mounted just like any other thing. And
Yeah,
you know,
amen.
extreme trail course is so interesting to me because, you know, I just go back to like growing up ranching and all the things that would happen out there, and you're running down hills Mach 90 after yearlings and all this other stuff, and that's what I picture, and sounds like that's pretty much what's going on.
Yeah, that's, I mean, he didn't joke around. So our first year, you know, I wanted to lend legitimacy. I wasn't, you know, I was a little worried about like, is the horse industry, are these cowgirls that I have so much respect for, are they going to accept this event because it's new, it's weird, it's different, you know. I'm not, I mean, I do, you know, for 20 years I've been in sales and marketing. Like you know, I'm that kind of a person. So I knew my rule book was straight up. I knew all of the things, but I got Sandy Collier to come out and judge it for us. So, you know, to lend legitimacy on that level. And she was just blown away. She was like, this is hard as hell, CJ. Like incredible. Like you picked the hardest reining pattern, the hardest, you know, like watching the trail course. She's like, I mean, she was giving people 78s in the reining and, you know, I mean, the trail course, she was blown away by the caliber of rider and horse flesh that it, I mean, she's like, I feel like I am at an NRCHA premier event. Like the quality of cowgirls was, you know, amazing. And we, the first year we had people from Canada, we had people from Georgia, we had people from Illinois. Like it was just, and it got even bigger last year. It's just so humbling and so amazing that the world was just so incredibly ready for this. And it's just, I just wanted to play on a team with my friends, you know, like that's ultimately where the seed came from.
Mhm.
Like,
So I'm gonna play a little ignorant. Well, I don't really have to
go
play
for
it.
it.
I am a little ignorant about it, but so on the extreme trail, like is it timed as well as judged?
Um, there is a time limit, but
Okay.
it is a judged event.
Yeah.
I added the word extreme, you know, because of the name of the event, and also it's hard as hell.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? It's fun. It's fun as hell. It's
Yeah.
fun, fun, fun. And I don't mean like that you have to be, you know, an NRCHA open rider to compete. There were like a good friend of mine. Um, she's a barrel racer that's like, you know, segueing over. Like she was on a team last year and had an absolute blast. There are all levels of riders, amateurs and open riders ride together on teams, and everybody has fun. Um, it is open to everyone, and I truly mean that with the bottom from the bottom of my heart. Um, but you know, just in general, Reined Cow Horse, the caliber of rider and horse flesh in Reined Cow Horse and versatility, um, just like Destri was saying, it's it's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, it's celebrated because the training that riders and horses go through is amazing. You know.
Mhm. For sure. Um, Always just one judge, because I know a lot of events, will have more than one judge on these, but
So actually, in order to get things done and so last year we went to two judges,
okay.
so that we could actually run the trail course and the reining on the same day. And we will do that again. And then we double judged the finals, because we had two judges and we had to pay them anyway. So we're going to do that again this year. Anything with teams, where the team is working together to keep everything super fair and make sure there's another set of eyes,
Mhm.
and so that we can run two things at one time. We we will have two judges again.
Okay. Okay.
I feel like the possibilities are endless here. I mean, this could be a whole series where you go to different parts of the United States on different ranches and even do it and be a whole TV series. I mean, that the way that you can showcase these things and these events with and it's all growing. The Western lifestyle is
Right.
growing in all directions right now. And and those events truly showcase the Western heritage and being able to show your versatility as a rider, to be able to do different disciplines and be an all around type cowgirl, I
Right.
think cool as well.
I mean, that was kind of the point. Well, it kind of had that kind of happened organically, like as we were putting the event together and I'm writing the rule book and I'm deciding, you know, we're trying to narrow down what preliminary events worked the best and how to go about it. It kind of occurred to us that we should make it replicatable. You know what I mean? And so Jason and I, we filed for a trademark. We own the trademark. People can, you know, like I think, you know, if people are considering thinking about it, they should get a hold of me. They should come to the May event. I think after our event in May, we will know enough. We will be able to replicate it. We will have the playbook finalized. We can figure out how much money you need to bring in, exactly what kind of facility, how many cattle, how many, you know what I mean? Like I think it's absolutely replicatable. And
So,
it opens it up where cowgirls aren't driving, you know, from Florida.
mm,
Place it opens it up where, you know, you have one in Idaho, you have one in Pennsylvania, or and whatnot.
mhm. So let's talk about the financial side of things because
Sure, absolutely.
if somebody's listening to this and they would like to be involved and become a sponsor or a vendor,
Sure,
tell me what kind of levels are available for people and
absolutely.
opportunities that way.
Absolutely. So I've been working on that the last couple days in preparation for this.
Mhm.
And I think I've got it fleshed out pretty well. We added a couple of levels of sponsorship from last year to this year. With the live feed, there's a live feed sponsorship. I'm really hoping the amazing live feed sponsor from last year has talked about coming back again. So I'm hoping that one's already gone. We will see. He's an amazing local real estate agent. And you know, he got several phone calls off the live feed last year. With my background in marketing and sales and PR, I am a very firm believer that sponsorships get paid out of a business's advertising budget, and they should get something for their sponsorship. So all sponsorships include social media posts, banners, obviously in the arena. The upper level sponsorships include um, things to do with the live feed, your logo on the frame, commercials during drags, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the top. The title sponsorship um, is for the live feed. And then there are levels from 15, you know, aside from that one, there are levels from 1500 down to 350. And those can be paid in cash or merchandise. And I've got, you know, forms I can and that I'm happy to email out. Sponsorships are absolutely open, and we're going to add some like side pot incentives, which I've got pretty well fleshed out. That are more for like farm and facility, you know, breeders that are offered for farm and facility. For lack of a better name, I'm just going to call it, you know, Extreme Cowgirl Challenge Breeders Incentive. But I want it to be open to um, more of a entire farm, not necessarily a stallion. But there's two levels of that. So, you know, Shane Plummer at SDP, he can, you know, if he wanted to and to do it, it would cover all their stallions. But you know, Perry quarter horses, we only have three, so we'd have the lower level, and half of that pot, half of their sponsorship would go into a pot for the incentive. The other half goes into the sponsorship pot to be used for the entire event. cowgirls that have horses that qualify for that, they pay an entry fee. And then there's, a whole breakdown, and it's kind of a side pot. So that'll be new this year. There'll be more information to come out about that, but I'm pretty excited. When I was running the numbers, it, will pay a place for every 5 horses that are enrolled in that, enrolled in that incentive. Um, it's kind of a lot of cash, actually. So that's pretty exciting. Um, and then, yeah, the sponsorships, they start at 350, and vendors are already signing on. A lot of return vendors. We have some amazing vendors. Most of them, about half of them actually compete on teams also, um, and have returned every year. Um, they're, handmade, like, the last couple of years, like, we have a top horse, a top hand, and a top amateur award. And the awards are, handmade bits and leather rope cans, and just phenomenal, beautiful, made by cowgirls for cowgirl, one of a kind awards that are just, yeah, I'm getting like goosebumps. Yeah, it's just amazing. Like, it just warms your heart. And it's
Awesome.
all this, I mean, it's sponsorships, I mean, that just is
Mhm.
what makes these events happen, really.
Yeah, it's you cannot do it without good sponsors, good help, uh good. Do you need volunteers to come and help?
Always,
Always.
always. Absolutely, right? Like, I've been on a team the last couple of years, just because that was the whole reason I developed it, right? I want to play on a team with my friends. But I'm not going to do it this year, just because I feel like, while I got to get to know gals I wanted to get to know much better that were on my team, I haven't gotten to know other competitors as well. And so I'm stepping off my team this year to be able to get to know, spend more time getting to know cowgirls. But yes, we absolutely need volunteers, of course, always, to help work gates and
Mhm.
help with score sheets and things like that. I have a fantastic gal that's run my office the last 2 years, and she's running the office again. Um, Obviously, Jason's an integral part of the whole mix, as is his son Tristan, and we've got some local guys that always help us out with the cattle, and but they could always use a little help too. And
Man, I just think it's so cool that you came up with this and you're willing to put this on. It sounds like a huge event, and like you said, everything behind the scenes. I mean, no one knows what all goes on behind the scenes for producers to put on events. It doesn't matter what event it is, but this one sounds like it has so many moving parts. The cutting cattle, the Reined Cow Horse cattle, setting up the trail deal, the finals team challenge, all of those things that are just so unique. I mean, how does somebody even come up with all of the logistics for something like that? I mean, that's just, it sounds so cool.
it, thank you. Well, I'm not sure. I like, the whole Art of the Cowgirl planted the seed. We just, like, like, every once in a while we just have a conversation about, like, we love the people we show with, and so enjoy supporting them and getting support from them. And every show you go to, it's like a family, that's your family for the week, or whatever. And it's, then you go to a ranch rodeo and you watch all these people get to compete on a team, and I'm like, there's got to be a way to figure this out.
Mhm.
And so your seed starts kind of growing in your mind, and it just, like, over time we finally started kind of jotting down notes. And finally in 23 we felt like we had enough knowledge that we started kind of writing a rule book. And how do you make it fair and keep it where it's, preliminary events, like where somebody does a reining pattern, how does that translate into a single person event, translate into a score that they then have points that go on to their team, et cetera, et cetera, and keep it completely fair. And so that did take a little while, but you know, Jason's very good at what he does. I'm very good at what I do. It needed both of us, and it needed, you know, our both of our brains to come up with the concept that actually worked. I started my riding career in pony club and doing 3-day eventing and show jumping and things like that. And pony club, you actually do a concept somewhat similar to this. And I think that's ultimately, I was like, if pony club can do this, we can do this. You know, they dressage and the 2 jumping events, you competed in that individually, and then your scores, you know, moved forward and awards were given for your club. So you know, I think that ultimately did help me say, yes, we absolutely can figure out how to do this, keep it fair, figure out a rule, you know, figure out rules and make it happen. So we, you know, had a lot of resources as far as just our past experiences where we were able to make it work.
I can't imagine all the thought that goes into creating a rule book for a specific event. I mean, holy cow. You
It
know,
was a pain.
like, you got tiebreakers, you got, if
All of
this
it.
we do this. I mean, just all the scenarios that you have to come up with in your mind. And probably the first couple years you ran into scenarios you didn't even know about
Yes.
and had
Yes.
to navigate
Absolutely.
them somehow. And but I'm sure people were just having so much fun they didn't even
Yeah.
really
It's we use, you know, rainy there's we use a lot of the rules because most of the cowgirls are most familiar with AQHA versatility. I'm like, we're just, you know, bit rules, horse age rules, and those types of things. Like we're just sticking with, like we're not reinventing the wheel that's already invented with stuff like that. We're using those types of rules. The judges for you know, like if people score, you know, 10 people get a 72 in the reining, there are specific maneuvers for that that will break a tie, and then they're force ranked with points to pull it forward to their team. So those things are kind of taken care of for me. But yes, like as far as points are concerned, we had to develop a way to break break tie break, you know, which event would be the tie breaking event and how that would look and how things would move forward. And when it comes to, you know, money and payouts and percentages, and yes, like it needed, like that's what I'm saying, like finally the 3rd year we feel confident that this is the year where we're like, we got our poop in a scoop. This is now where we're like, we've like this year, we feel like these are the preliminary events that are replicatable, right? Like that we can do this. This is where these are the events that people will be most happy with, that it's open to the most people that compete in these events. You know, it's, we could take the show on the road if people wanted us to.
Yeah, I mean, I just think about I don't are you familiar with the Ultimate Cowboy Challenge or anything like that?
No, not really. Tell me what it is.
It was a TV show and they had a bunch of cowboys across America. Trace Atkins is the one that put it all together and whatever. And they would all have these. It was an individual deal. It wasn't a team deal, but they would have them on teams for specific things. So they would have like, they'd have to go doctor or rope 3 cows and doctor them or something, or they'd have to go gather these cows and put them all in this pen, sort them, and then whenever they got them gathered and they'd sort the blues from the yellows or whatever it was, then time would stop, and then that determined who would get eliminated that night or whatever. It's a different deal, but just the just the aspect of adding different aspects of ranch life and having events like that, I think is so cool, especially to showcase cowgirls in general and show what a cowgirl can do and how good that they are and how handy they are.
Oh
Um,
man.
Different situations and so just the fact that I'm thinking of like the final team event where you get them all together and the 5 of them have to complete this hard ranch task that, you know, I just think back to ranching, like you didn't know there's so many things that could go wrong, but when it went right, boy, it was awesome, you know.
Boy, it went right. Yeah. But when it went wrong, dang.
Yeah, you know, and then you got 5 people on the team that maybe they have worked cows together, maybe they haven't, you know.
And it's super obvious too.
Yeah, it is.
That might be where my team misses me. Like I'm not gonna lie, the putting this deal on is like putting on a royal wedding every year. Like it's 6 months of work and planning for me, right? And
Yeah.
so I don't ride my horse as much as I should to prepare. So luckily my team kind of carries me in some of the preliminary events. Like the I might be the drop score in some of the events. I'm usually pretty decent out of the herd, but I work cattle on the ranch with Jason a lot. Like we work as a team a lot on the ranch. So I've been a little bit clutch in finals the last couple of years. And so we'll see how if they make it to the finals this year, which I hope they do. We'll see how it goes. I hope they kick complete ass, but yeah, like I wasn't super valuable in getting us to the finals, but there were a couple of moments in there where like I'm like, y'all, we need to, like somebody's got to. We can't all be over here. Somebody's got to be over there, like
You you can't have feelings in the cow sorting pen. You just
yeah, there are no feelings there.
yeah,
There are no feelings there, or there are like no
it,
longer friends. We are no
it,
longer friends. Yeah.
it really goes south if you get in your feelings.
I mean, yeah, I've been working cattle on the ranch with Jason for 10 years. Like our 4-year-old now is just like, don't be mean, my dad. Don't be mean, my mom. And then she just looks at both of us and she's like, you guys are mean. We're like,
It doesn't matter what happens when you're working cows. At the end of it, you're like, all right, you hungry? You know,
yeah, let's go eat some beef
we're good.
because burger time.
Yeah, for sure. So no, I
Who's
think
got the coal list written on their hand, right? Like, damn it.
yeah, in bye, and half of them can't hear. So, but no, I think events like that need to be showcased and they need to be broadcasted in front of a wide group. People want to see that. They want to see the Western heritage live and well, and people upholding those intricate things of this lifestyle.
Well, there's so many. I mean, nothing against the sports either one of you do because I can't do either one of those, right? Like, I mean, I legitimately cannot carry a coiled rope from our house to the trailer without like dropping loops in the driveway. Like, it's bad. And I cannot run barrels to save my life either. I mean, I can, but it takes me like a minute and a half to get around them because, so um but there are so many people in this world that think that rodeo events are the only events that people do on a horse anymore until, world's great, like world's greatest horseman and like some of the stuff that Taylor Sheridan has put together. And, like finally this stuff is starting to come to the forefront. And I mean, all of this is good. Everything is good for the Western horse industry. And any way we can add horsemanship and animal welfare and Western lifestyle preservation and anything else into it and inject some new blood into it too, the better off our lifestyle will be. It
I
gives
Right.
it longevity.
Mhm.
oh, and you say that like people don't real you're right, they just see what happens in the arena, they don't realize all the stuff that happens out of the arena, and some of the people that compete in the arena, maybe they haven't done the stuff out of there. I will tell you, roping a cow in the pasture is there's so many things that can go wrong
Right.
and are different than roping anything in a confined area,
Oh, right.
but it is
Absolutely.
it is not the same. You rope
No.
don't you get a hold of one of them suckers, you don't know if you're going in the pond with them. You don't know if they're about to go down a hill, wrap you around a tree.
Underneath you, around the back of you, all
Yeah,
the things.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess you guys don't have many trees where you're at, but
No,
uh,
right. We have two trees. We have two.
do and nurse those suckers as good as you can.
Yeah.
And
We
Mm.
yeah,
we have no trees. They're both dead. The two trees are dead.
it's that way.
Well, I mean, a lot of the horses that we raise, if they don't make it as a cow horse, like Jason he uses our show horses on the ranch. Because there's no real difference between our performance horses and our ranch horses. And, so if they're not a bang up versatility horse or cow horse, we've sold a lot of team roping horses and people just love them because they have roped some nasty stuff out on the ranch and gone in the pond and had something go around behind him and had to follow it around and all that. All the things you're talking about. I have never it's never happened to me because I have never roped one, but I have definitely watched it happen more than once.
Well, they kind of know how to take care of themselves, and being on open ground, they really know how to feel the ground as they run across it, and just really have better footing, in my opinion. And
100%.
you can't you can't substitute the miles for one doing moving cows and being out in the pasture and everything else. I mean, there's no other way that you can replicate that in the arena. There just isn't. And those horses, they learn how to handle pressure in different situations and the sorting pen and opening and closing gates on the fly and all of those things to a completely different level. And so when they do get to the arena and they do get to the rodeo, they're like, see, this is the easy life. I'm definitely down with this. I'm not gonna flip out at these banners or horses running up behind me or anything else like that, because everything else that they've done their whole life has been way harder.
So we took two horses down to the NRCHA futurity this year. And then Jason rode in the cowboy class, so our 7-year-old stallion was with us too. And like the three of them, they're like clean shavings. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. They are like laying down sleeping the whole entire time. Because at home, they live outside in a pen, they do ranch work, like that. You're exactly right. They're like, a show is a vacation. Oh, we have to get up and ride at 4 in the morning. So what? It's a we lope in like we ride in an arena. We're not doing 35 miles out on the ranch, dragging a injured bull to the stupid trailer. So I mean, it's such as life. They honestly look at a show like a vacation. I mean, they're just hilarious. They're all just laying down flat out sleeping, and people are like, "Your horses are so well behaved." I'm like, I mean, look, you watch them at home, they're a little different, but at shows they're just relaxed because they're like, honestly, it's like a day at the beach.
Awesome. Well, CJ, how do they get a hold of you to either become a sponsor or vendor? What are the best ways to get more information and get
So there are a couple of different ways. They can join the Facebook group, and it is just Extreme Cowgirl Challenge on Facebook. Um, Also, there is a website. They can my email and phone number on our website on perryquarterhorses.com. Literally my email and phone number are all over our website, perryquarterhorses.com,
Okay.
which Perry Quarter Horses is also really easy to find on Facebook too.
Well, we sure have enjoyed visiting with you about this. It's an event that sounds like it is going to be one to mark on your calendar, May 9th through 11th, Mother's Day weekend, 2025. And I hope we can
Leota,
help.
Kansas. I
Leota,
probably haven't
Kansas.
said that enough. I probably haven't said that enough. Sorry, Leota, Kansas.
All right. Are there hotels in Leota, Kansas?
There is a hotel in Leota, Kansas. There are also some Airbnbs.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. So they need to get a hold of you to get some more information about it and mark it on their calendars and head to Leota, Kansas. The middle, probably like the middle of the United States, probably like pretty much.
It might be exact middle. We are in the middle of nowhere on the way to everywhere.
I love it.
Thank you both so much.
Okay, check it out. Extreme Cowgirl Challenge, May 9th through 11th, 2025, Leoti, Kansas. Sponsored by Perry Quarter Horses and so many more. Get a hold of CJ Garland if you want to be a part of it.
Just right. Well, I'll close it out. And CJ, thank you very much. It sounds like such a great event. And man, I just love people that have the innovation and thought process to put on cool events like this and showcase the Western lifestyle. And so we truly appreciate that also.
Thank you.
And
Thank you very much.
as always, let your health be the pivot point to your success.